about it. Good.
Are we keeping this pace? Is this our pace?
This is our pace.
Wow, all right.
We're very contemplative.
I could do that,
Yeah,
yes.
right?
Right.
But yeah, once we start talking, we'll probably speed up because that's just how humans are.
I
So,
think they are, yes.
so yeah, the film, is reflective of, my personal journey of finding reconciliation and exploring all that it means to be gay and Mormon. Already too fast.
Sorry.
All that it means to be gay and Mormon, or same-sex attracted and Mormon, or depending on the day, depends on the term. But yeah, so I'm here
And
to.
depends on the person.
Yeah, exactly.
And the day, I've been the same way. I remember, honestly, I didn't identify so much as being lesbian because growing up, I was raped at age 10 and I was a church member and it was an older gentleman, friend of the family, one of those guys that I thought it was my fault. Well, he said it was,
Of course.
He said, oh, well, you never said no, and if your parents find out, you're in trouble. And
The double victim.
yeah, so then I learned about the law of chastity and of course couldn't tell anyone. So my identity was all centered around that, my sense of guilt and all of that. So when I noticed in high school, I started being attracted to, it was older women. I had friends that were lesbian.
Mm-hmm.
I played sports, so I had several friends that were lesbian that were probably, even interested. And even that was hard because, I wanted to date guys because that's what all my friends did,
Sure.
And you wanted to go to the prom and
High
all that
school,
stuff.
yeah.
And I got asked out a little, but, my friends that were lesbian were all very interested in me.
Yeah.
So that was kind of, I think that started it. I thought, look, there's got to be a reason that they're drawn to me, and I'm attracted to women. And a coach when I was a sophomore, I had a coach that I had a huge crush on. She was older. I knew she was gay, lesbian. It wasn't, she never made any advances at all. She was appropriate with all the students, but I just had a crush. And then the following year, we got an assistant coach that was just college age. So she was maybe 4 years older than I was, and I was very interested in going out with her, but she was not interested in going out with me.
So yeah, as all this is happening, I want you to keep going the story. As all this happening, what are you thinking in terms of
Who am I?
Yeah, sexual identity, personal identity.
Not a bit.
What is
Because that's in the 70s,
Uh-huh.
because I'm now in my
A different
50s-ish,
Okay. Congratulations.
as my son will tell you.
Right,
He'll be
right.
happy to tell you.
Yeah.
So in the 70s, you didn't, there was Liberace,
Right.
Elton John came out. But even when Elton John came out,
Right.
I don't know if you were even born then, but when Elton John came out, there was a big, to-do about it, because he was really the first celebrity that I recall.
Right.
Besides, Liberace, and
Right.
Liberace was just accepted as some other creature, and I
Because
grew up
he's
in
so
Las Vegas.
Yeah, so eccentric.
Yeah,
and it's like,
everybody
oh,
loves
it's that.
Liberace. Yeah, that's just what he does.
Yeah.
That's just him.
But then also in terms of sort of lesbian, not role models, but like celebrities,
Yeah.
or was there any?
I didn't know any, but the coaches, it kind of was known that the coaches were lesbian, and I kind of knew which friends were.
And it was taboo, or
No, well, for me it was,
yeah.
but
You're Mormon.
yeah, I was Mormon, and I had already committed a horrendous sin, the worst sin,
Oh,
right?
gosh.
Broken the law of chastity. So I honestly didn't think of that as being the worst thing. So that's what I mean in terms of identification. I think maybe that helped me, because
Interesting.
sure, I felt different from everyone and all of that a lot of people talk about, but mine was all centered around the big, huge event, the trauma of my life.
Which is
So women are, come on, it's just another. It would be. Eventually that's the conclusion I came to. Not in high school. I didn't, I drank, I got drunk once. I remember that distinctly because I'm one of those alcoholics that can remember very well the first time they drank, and that it, for the first time in my life I felt okay,
Okay, so definite self-medication.
Oh yeah. So I just did it once and felt guilty because of the church. What the heck is that?
Yeah. Okay.
I can't hear it though.
The
Here, I can
workers?
hear it here.
What is that?
Right. Okay. Then that's what matters. So keep rolling. But if it does get so loud that you can hear it then. So
I didn't really consider it because of the church. I just thought, okay, I have this crush, but I'm not really going to do anything about it. I'm not
Right.
really going to act on it, you know.
But you recognize
I
it as a
fantasized
crush.
about her. Oh yeah, I mean, it was definitely sexual.
Okay.
And I never felt that way before. I mean, the first coach it was sort of just a crush. It wasn't all that sexualized, but then, you know, and I went through puberty late too. If there's any small fact about my life, personal fact that I forget, you know, be sure to let me know, because I'd hate to skip one.
Like late puberty.
Yes,
Got it.
yes.
But that can play a factor, of course.
I think it did, because really it wasn't until my junior year when this assistant coach came in that it really became, you know, very
Yeah.
sexualized for me, and it had a lot of
Gotcha.
energy to it
Yeah.
for me, and I'd kind of, you know, mess around with her, and she liked me as a friend, but she had a girlfriend, college age.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So if she had made a move, I probably would have been involved with her.
Okay.
But anyway, so when I got to college, my first year, I played ball in college, and probably
What kind of ball, by the way?
softball.
Okay.
Probably 75% of the team was lesbian,
Okay.
at least.
Certain stereotypes sort of hold there.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back earlier, I think you see a lot of that, like a lot of female athletes were lesbian, whereas
Sure.
now it's more popular for
Right.
women to play sports, and
Right.
you know, it's
more
been
mixed.
diluted or whatever.
Yeah.
But there's definitely a correlation. I mean, you can't deny there's something.
Yeah.
And I'm certainly a believer that there's, you know, biological components to this for
Right.
some people.
Sure.
Well, really, I think for most before, but I think even that's changing because it's becoming a little more, popular, the bisexual chic and that
Right.
sort of thing. So
Right.
I think it's not necessarily a biological contribution as strong as it.
Right. As before,
As
it was
before.
more of a determinant. Like that.
If
was
somebody
your
was
soul.
going to do that, you know, they were
Right.
going to have some driving forces behind it.
Right, because cultural.
Yeah, culturally
Cultural norms were
and
so
more,
against
and
it.
church-wise. I
Right.
mean, everything. I had culture and church very much against it.
Right.
So it was easier when I went to college because all my friends were lesbian. So I wasn't ashamed of it. My first year, I kind of tried to go to church a little bit, but I felt guilty. I felt horrible. But it was really from the abuse, sexual abuse.
Say, yeah.
It wasn't really my feelings. And I finally started drinking more and smoking pot. So, and certainly
That'll soothe it.
yeah. Certainly looking back, that was self-medication.
Yeah.
In fact, I've since been diagnosed bipolar, which would probably
wow.
make some
Gosh, yeah.
sense with everything else
Yeah.
going on.
Can also complicate things.
Sure, why not?
Wow. So, but at this time,
So really,
catching
it
up
was
to
the.
were you making distinctions between the effects of the rape and sort of the PTSD that clearly you had been
Oh
holding
yeah,
on,
none of it.
and then the sexual sort of orientation
None of
question?
it.
It
No.
was, what
I
what
just
was your-
experienced
what was your thinking
feeling
about
that I can't go to church because I've got to use alcohol and drugs to feel good, and if I don't, I feel
therefore-
horrible.
and
So
therefore
that
you're
built
bad.
up. Oh
the
yeah,
church's
then I'm
eyes.
horrible because now I break the word of wisdom, and
Like you can't.
I already broke the law of chastity,
Yeah,
and
right.
screw it, screw the church. I'm tired of feeling guilty.
Of course, and. it's
So I
just
quit going. By my
so-
sophomore year, I quit going to church completely.
So convoluted, it's like wait, yeah. Okay.
And I hadn't seen a counselor, so is the sun bad?